In Series 1 of Every Family Has a Secret, I set out on an international search for my father. 4 years later, a miracle has happened.
Happy Father's Day!
Thank you.
This is another Father's Day where I don't have a father.
Journalist and mother of two, MarieAnne was adopted just days after her birth in May 1969.
When you have your parents, it's almost impossible to understand what it's like not to have any of that.
I love that, Ty.
What being adopted is like for me, it's like having a hole through the core of my being, a big gaping chasm that just is drilled through the middle of who I am and nothing fills it. And nothing, I don't know if anything will ever fill it.
I'm Noni. Nice to meet you, darling.
MarieAnne's quest to discover the truth about her past has been plagued by sliding door moments and cruel misfortune.
How did you feel about having been given away as a baby?
I was devastated by the thought of my mother having left me. It was like growing up in a hotel with some really nice people that did their best to look after me, but I was always the guest.
In her mid-20s, MarieAnne enlisted an adoption support agency to help her trace her birth mother.
This is one of the photos that she sent. This is a photo of her on her wedding day.
Fran married her childhood sweetheart, Kevin. On MarieAnne's adoption papers, Kevin was acknowledged as her father.
The minute that she was told that I wanted to make contact, she was back in touch with them. I want to meet her. Wow. And then my birthday comes up. My mother doesn't remember the month or the day I was born. Like, how do you forget that? I didn't reply to this and I didn't hear from her. A long time goes past, 12 months goes past, more. And then one day, I just have this flash, find the number and I ring it. The person that answers is her second husband. And he says, I'm really sorry to tell you, but she's been killed. I'd made the biggest mistake in my life and I had lost everything. That's when things became strange, because when her best friend came to Perth, she took me aside and she said to me, when she fell pregnant with you, she had an affair around about the same time with an Italian taxi driver.
Is her dad her mum Fran's first husband, Kevin? Or is he the Italian taxi driver she was rumoured to be seeing? Her DNA test results are in.
I'm Italian. 41% Italian. It feels like a whole piece of my life has been given back to me.
Now that MarieAnne has DNA proof of her Italian heritage, she's hoping Brad Argent from Ancestry can interpret the results further.
So we've got a list of the Italian surnames that have popped up in your DNA results.
That's a big list.
Oh, wow. It is a
my
rather
gosh.
long list.
I mean, wow.
The A to Z of your relatives.
Yes.
Yeah. All you need is for a half-sibling to take a DNA test.
Dream big, right?
Yeah.
I'm dreaming big.
Yeah.
While I didn't find him at the time, I walked away from the show feeling like my heart had been healed. However, 4 years later, a miracle has happened, and somebody randomly took a DNA test that has linked directly to my father.
MarieAnne, you have a sister,
Brad, what?
a half-sister.
I can't comprehend this.
She lives in Perth.
She doesn't live in Perth. That's amazing. I can't believe this.
We do have actually a picture.
Oh my God, she's so beautiful. That's my sister. Oh my God.
Now, she was adopted,
Okay.
but unlike you, she knew who her birth family was, who her birth parents were.
How does this not lead to my dad?
Well, it does.
You found my dad?
Yeah.
Oh, Brad, you've done it. And I'm thinking from what you're saying, he's not alive.
He is.
My dad's alive.
In Perth.
My dad's alive and my dad's in Perth.
His name's Giovanni Italiano. Well, you know, you wanted to be Italian.
I did.
And it doesn't get more Italian than Italiano.
I long for the time that I can give him a hug and touch him in person and know that I have met my father. I have met one of my parents. That I'm not going to leave this world without ever having known my mother or my father. Like, that's pretty huge. It's actually blowing my mind. And my heart. It's blowing my heart. Oh. I'm so excited. I can't wait to tell people. My boys will have a grandfather. This longing to fit in somewhere and to experience what it is like to have blood family. I'm going to have all of that. That's my new reality. So here I am, waiting to meet my dad. I'm in equal parts over the moon, excited and completely terrified, but I'm hoping secretly I find a little bit of myself in him. Wish me luck.
When she walked in, I knew you couldn't mistake that she was my daughter. There was never, ever any doubt. From the moment she sat down, the magnets were pulling together.
From the moment that I met him, he opened his heart to me, he opened his arms to me, he opened his life to me, and before the end of the lunch was over, he stood up and introduced me to two other people in the restaurant as his daughter. This is my daughter. Here is meet my daughter. Before Narelle came along, my chart, my page, was pretty empty until along comes Narelle. Well, then Narelle has a conversation with you, and Narelle says, do you know that there's another one? And what was that like when you found out?
It was a shock. It was an absolute shock. I mean, to sort of all of a sudden, after 54 years, or nearly 54, I've got another daughter, just like that. Well, it's undeniable, isn't it, really?
There's no turning back now.
That's true.
There's no turning back now.
Unfortunately, it's true.
We are so similar. Not even about looks, it's about personality, it's about sense of humour, it's about mental connection, it's about the way that we think, the way that we view the world. It's about banter, just we could talk all day and all night because we're the same person. I would like to think that Mum was up there and right at the time when we needed someone to nudge Narelle to have her test, she was one that had the master's controls, and that she's looking down and feeling very pleased with the fact that what she couldn't do for me while she was on earth, she's managed to do for me while she's been in heaven.
Nice big smile.
We just from instantly have this bond. Looking into someone's eyes that reflect your own back. It's just amazing. I just feel complete. I just have this peace in my heart that just feels full.
I could never have imagined the love, the connection, not only with my father, but with my sister, with my father's sisters, with my father's friends. It is more than I could ever have dreamt of.
This is a beginning of a lifetime. What's left for me, yeah.
I feel like I'm home. Finally, after everything, I am home.